From the tailgate smoke to the late night post, best cash in the game.
Latest coast to coast.
Click that play, let it roll. Silver, black in my soul, got 401. Righty to Jeff, breaking plays, taking notes, that chef. Film on loop, he's stacking stats, calling out schemes, exposing gaps. When the line holds, when it don't, he said what they scared to quote. Raiders coast to coast, that's the show I trust the most. From a bay down to that post, we riding, we riding. Raiders coast to coast, if you bleed that silver ghost, hit subscribe and raise a toast. We riding, we riding. LV Arita 10, bring that flame. Live from the desert, loving this game. Stories from the stands, from the strip. Heart in the huddle every trip. They debated, never fake it. Caught a draft pick, celebrated when the shield shine bright on screen. You can hear the whole fan base scream. Let's go! Let's go. Raiders coast to coast, that's the show I trust the most. From the bay down to that post, we riding, we riding. Raiders coast to coast, if you bleed that silver ghost, hit subscribe and raise a toast. We riding, we riding. The whole color slam to the lights where we see them YouTube on. That's the spot for the real talk, real plot forward. Rid of Jeff, LV, rid of 10. Run it back, run it back, run it back. Play that episode again. Raiders coast to coast, it's the show I trust the most. From the bay down to that post, we riding, we riding. Raiders coast to coast, if you bleed that silver ghost, hit subscribe and raise a toast. We riding, we riding.
What is good, everybody? Appreciate everyone popping on right now. Unfortunately, Jeff is unable to go tonight. He's handling some family issues, but we're going to go ahead and hop on here, and I just kind of wanted to talk to the nation today. You know, a lot of stuff that we've been talking about throughout the week is going to be kind of rehashed here, so I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, see how y'all were feeling about, you know, Klint Kubiak and everything that's been going on with the Raiders so far this season. Obviously, you know, this is a brand new season with Klint Kubiak manning the helm now, so this is definitely going to be very different. And we got Don in the building. What is up, Don? But let's go ahead and pop in the chat here. We got Robert Pena. Salute to you, brother. We got Anthony in the building. What is up, Anthony, my angel's brother? John Leone. What is up, man? And then we got Frank Weber. And then, of course, Don. Appreciate you guys pulling up. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys, get your feelings on the Klint Kubiak hire, as well as other Raider news, such as Maxx Crosby's possible departure from the team. At this point right now, it doesn't look likely that Maxx Crosby leaves. In my opinion, I don't think he's going to be leaving. Shout out to Jeff. He says he's watching from the ER. Salute to Jeff. I couldn't get your channel rolling right now, Jeff. My apologies. I was trying to, but I don't know. It just didn't work out. But like I was saying, Maxx Crosby, to me personally, doesn't seem like he's going to be leaving anytime soon. If I want to pull this up right here, it says right here, you know, I just want to play football and be left the F alone. Like, in all honesty, you can't really blame him. I'm sure it's super tiring hearing everybody kind of talk on your name, tell everyone how you're supposed to be feeling. Like, I'm sure that gets old super, super quick. So, I can only imagine how he's feeling right now. He's doing everything that he's been doing for this entire time that he's been with the Raiders. That's showing up to the building, doing everything right, you know, putting on for the Raiders when even during this turmoil time, like, a lot of people don't put on for the Raiders. So it's hard, and it sucks to see everybody wants Maxx Crosby, but that's just the kind of player that he is. And to me, you know, we can go back and forth on whether or not Maxx Crosby, you know, should be traded as far as the future of the Raiders is concerned. To me, it's he represents the Raiders. Um, he has been the sole representative of what the Raiders are and what they have been in the past couple of seasons. Even though, again, it hasn't been good football, but just trading him doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, as far as for the future of the Raiders. And to be honest, if we're looking at this team right now, I think that we can possibly rush this timeline and be competitive with the timeline that Maxx Crosby has on contract, as well as his age just in general. So to me, Maxx Crosby situation, I think it's just kind of baloney here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is a show for you guys to let me know how y'all think. Of course, Jeff is not here. It's gonna be a little bit harder going by myself, but yeah, like I said, let me know how y'all think about the Maxx Crosby situation down in the comments below. Shout out Arnie. Salute to you, brother. I see you popping in. Salute Nate. Appreciate you, big dog, popping in. Um, if you guys feeling different about Maxx Crosby, if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments below. Um, but again, I think that it's it's a dumb situation from here on out, because he's reiterated and reiterated how much he wants to be a Raider. And I know, so I was having this argument with my friends today over DM. There's their thought behind it is that he doesn't come out and say specifically that I want to be a Raider. He doesn't come out specifically and say like here to stay. I want to be a Raider and I'm not going anywhere. How many times does he have to do it? We could go back 2 seasons ago and of him saying that same exact thing on The Rush or on his other podcast. I forget what it's called. It's like Get Up or something like that. Or on other, interview panels that he's had. He said it multiple times that he's here to be a Raider. He wants to stay a Raider, and it sucks like having to continue to have this conversation. So I'm sure it's very tiresome for him. But let's see what's good in here. Don't Trip Foo says Crosby not going anywhere. All talk. He has already addressed it, and people still running with the narrative. And I completely agree. I completely agree. Like I said, I'm sure it's super tiresome to hear that from the media, and the noise is loud because it's not just small little media members. Just like the whoever little newspapers from here or there or wherever. Right now, it's Bleacher Report and ESPN and Sports Illustrated, and it's gotten this big thing for I don't know what reason. People just want to grasp at straws, and yeah, so that kind of sucks. But let's see. Arnie says Insider Hondo said today, without Mendoza, Kubiak would not accept Raider job. Do you believe it was a spy take Brady selling the job, or only first pick in the draft determining factor? That is a good question. I will get to that in just a second, because I do have actually something on that. Um, oh well, Max didn't say he wasn't leaving. Like, man, shut the fuck up already. They just don't know what else to talk about. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I sent something to my friends today too over DM, and uh, it was him saying that same thing that I just showed you on Instagram, and it's just like, dude, how much more he can he say that he doesn't want all of this media attention over basically nothing? Like it doesn't make sense to me, and coming out and saying like, "Oh, well, he didn't say he wants to be a Raider," is like, dude, come on. Like, he read between the lines. Like, he doesn't have to physically come out and say it. Like, he's done it before. But yeah. Um Appreciate Frank Weber pulling up and telling Jeff take care of yourself, of course. What is up, Rafa? What is up, big dog? Appreciate you. Arnie says, with Kubiak running outside zone, which offensive lineman on this current fit his scheme? That's a good question, and I will get back to both of your questions in just a second. The media forgot the Raiders even existed until they got the number 1 pick. Remember, it was the Raiders to trade away the first pick. That didn't work, and now it's Crosby wants out. No, he doesn't. Yeah, uh, that's actually a really good analysis because it completely seems like the Raiders were irrelevant up until they got the number one overall pick. And it just so happens that Fernando Mendoza is a media darling and he had this great season with Indiana. And now that a quarterback needy team is, in the running or is basically needs to draft a quarterback, and Fernando Mendoza happens to be, this complete media darling and such a likable character and in the media and everyone seems to be falling in love with, like it just it puts two like media um hype. It puts two media hypes at once. It just they try to make it a perfect match. To me, it's not the greatest of matches, but we'll probably get into that eventually. Um, what up, Rorschach? Appreciate you, brother. Don't trip, fool. What's up, man? Rafa says Maxx Crosby wants to stay. He's the heart and soul of Raiders. Never underestimate the talent, experience, and greatness of Max. And I completely agree. I love Maxx Crosby. I've said it on here multiple times. I don't want to see him leave. He is what embodies a Raider, in my opinion, as the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, when you think of Las Vegas Raiders, most people will think of Maxx Crosby. Um, Crosby being 29 with 6 surgeries, the most value we can get back 2 first round draft picks now, less next year. And I completely get this argument as well. Like, if we are completely going to be in the trade market for Maxx Crosby, it would be the time. I would say probably last year would probably been the time. Um, but it's hard because it's hard to take my fan cap off, especially for someone like Maxx Crosby. But personally, I don't think we can get 2 first rounders. I think the package that we're looking at is probably a first rounder and maybe some complimentary draft picks. Like, you can possibly get a second out of that. Um, I don't know if that value is good enough to bring Max or to get Maxx Crosby out of Las Vegas. To me, for that kind of value, especially if it's someone like hypothetically, like the Seahawks, if the Seahawks want them, it's going to be the 32nd pick. And then the Seahawks are going to be a pretty decent team. Obviously, they lost their offensive coordinator, but they're gonna be a decent team next year. And so that second round pick that you get isn't going to be, you know, very good. So to me, the value of Maxx Crosby is more than what we could get back for him. Unless you could get 3 picks and blow me out the water, I think just keeping Maxx Crosby is in our best interest. Yeah, appreciate you, Jeff. Yeah, keep Jeff's wife Dawn in your prayers. Uh, they're at the ER right now for her. Um, Arnie, appreciate you. Right there. I'm from LA, Los Angeles Raiders. What up, Anthony Estrada? Appreciate you. Like Jeff says, make sure everyone hits that thumb and sub and share it to everybody. Appreciate you. Arnie says, I try to wear just Raiders gear, nothing Las Vegas. Do you feel the same? We were the best in Oakland. So this is interesting. Um, I I love Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I am planning to move there. Um, to me, I will wear L.A., Oakland, Vegas. I will wear whatever as long as it has Raiders on it. I'll rock it. To me, I don't have a big association with the Raiders being in one spot other than Vegas because I was too young for them to when they were in LA. That was really my dad who became a fan because they were in LA. And then in Oakland, they were just a little bit too far away from me to really have any kind of connection and relationship with the team up in Northern California. So now the fact that they're in Las Vegas, it's a much more manageable trip for me from Los Angeles. So to me, I love the fact that they're in Las Vegas. It's a great move financially for the Raiders. And if you know anything before them moving to Las Vegas, up in Oakland, they were one of the cash poorest franchises in the NFL. So, as much as you can say about Mark Davis, he is a businessman and he is a smart businessman because moving to Las Vegas has built this franchise from becoming one of the least um, financially, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to think of right now, but one of the least valuable franchises to possibly one of the most. So, I mean, at that point, I can't really hate that, but like I said, I to me, I've grown a lot more connection with the Raiders being in Las Vegas because, it's a much more manageable trip, as well as, starting all of this and meeting all these fans and, having all these connections with Raider content creators and meeting a bunch of players and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate them being in Las Vegas right now. That's for sure. Let's see. Arnie says Eagles 23rd pick this year, first year plus AJ Brown for Max. Ooh. So the 23rd and the Eagles first plus AJ Brown. 23rd pick this year and a first next year. Is that what you're saying? Plus AJ Brown? So two first, AJ Brown for Max. So honestly, I don't know if AJ Brown would like playing here, in my opinion. I would be a little skeptical because he is in such a good organization with the Eagles and he's already kind of having a diva mentality. Um, so the fact that we're going to be kind of starting from scratch, that's going to be kind of a little bit off to me. But AJ Brown is a great player and I would not be mad if we got that. I think that would be a decent return for Max. It just, in my opinion, puts our defense at such a hindrance that I don't know. I wouldn't be trading for AJ Brown. I would try to be getting one of their defensive pieces. Although I do know we have a huge need for a bona fide number one wide receiver. Um, Still on the same side with Trojans and of course Raiders, but got some bad news. Went back to the LA side for baseball. Lots of Octobers. That's okay, bro. That's all right. It's tough being an Angel fan. I mean, I'm ride or die. I got it tattooed on me. I can't go over. I'm stuck with him. So I totally get it though. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. What up, Frank Weber, Rorschach? What are your thoughts signing McCoy as our assistant head coach? Um, Honestly, I got to do a little bit more research on him. I just mainly know him from his time being the Chargers head coach, but I gotta see where he has been after that, and then I can give a really full analysis of what I think. But I do know that he is a veteran presence for a first time head coach in Klint Kubiak, and I think that is very needed. I know we've seen Antonio Pierce bring on a lot of head coaching experience on his staff prior, and we all thought that was a good idea. Um, I do think that he needed that a lot more than what I think Klint Kubiak is going to need. But a little bit of veteran presence and former head coaching experience is greatly valued for someone who is a first time head coach. And I think that's exactly what Mike McCoy, or his name's Mike, right? Whatever. Coach McCoy um, is going to give for Klint Kubiak. What would it take for the Las Vegas Raiders to actually have a home field advantage? So to me, it's a little tough. So I am also a Vegas Golden Knights fan. So to see the huge contrast between support between the Golden Knights and the Raiders is extremely appalling to me. It's pretty crazy, but being from LA, I can kind of attest it to being like being an LA fan because the Los Angeles as a city didn't have a team when the Raiders and Rams left up until 2016. So I believe they left in 94 to 2016. That's a long time. And a lot of people became fans of other places, and there's LA, as well as Las Vegas, is a very boiling pot kind of city. Like, people come from all around and have their teams, and they bring their fandom with them. So I understand um why there's not a huge support for them, especially because there's they've been a losing franchise. Like, no two doubts about it. I think a couple of wins and winning will solve all. Uh, like I said, I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan. Their support started from the beginning because they became a winning franchise in that first season. Um, and to me, I think if the Raiders start to become a winning franchise and start to have a couple of winning seasons under their belt, the Raider fandom will definitely start to show out. I think cementing their place as the bona fide and solidified Las Vegas team, they're doing a well. They're doing well doing that by being so involved with the community that future generations of Las Vegas residents will be Raider fans. But again, they have to start winning so that people will start to be more accepted, or it will be more acceptable to go to Raider fans or be a Raider fan, especially in Las Vegas. Um, would you take a first 2 seconds and an online player for Max? Oof. It would have to depend on who who the team is that we're getting the first and 2 seconds from, as well as the O line player. Like, if we're getting like just kind of a throwaway O line player, and it's from the Patriots or whatever, and that first is 31st, and the 2 seconds aren't really going to be that much better, then no. But if it's the Cardinals and they give us their best offensive lineman, or their second best offensive lineman, I'm not even sure who that is right now, but um, if it's the Cardinals and they're obviously in a rebuilding situation, then I would be a little bit more lenient and hearing them out. But again, it's all just kind of situationally based for me, at least, and I'm sure that's probably what they're thinking as well. Mm, 18 and 29 plus picks Puka for Max. See, I hate the Rams so much, especially because I'm from LA. So I hate the Rams. There's I hate them. 18 and 29 plus Puka is not gonna happen. Max, I think from Max's point of view, the Rams would probably be the best spot for him. Max has already said how much he loves Los Angeles as a city. He often comes out here for events and for his podcast in the off season. He's already said how much he respects Sean McVay and the organization. So I think that if we're asking Max, hey, would you want to be traded to the Los Angeles Rams? I think he says yes in a heartbeat. So I really hope that they don't call us and say, hey, we're gonna go all in on Maxx Crosby. We're gonna give you our next three firsts. That's very possible that that gets accepted. Um, from both sides, from the Rams and from Maxx Crosby's side of the situation. So I really hope that doesn't happen. Anthony says, "I love Max, just don't know if he's worth two firsts. Some teams might offer that though." I agree. I think the injury history with Maxx Crosby is going to be um a big bidding um counter. Like, the Raiders are going to counter with, okay, you put a first on the table, we want two, and the opposing team is going to be like, no, because Maxx Crosby has injury history. They shut him down for the past 2 seasons. So I completely understand what you're saying here. Who is the golden ticket in free agency to sign regardless of position? To me, it's got to be Tyler Linderbaum. If he gets out of Baltimore, I think that's got to be our number one position. That's got to be our number one signing in free agency. It has to be him. We all know the woes that we had on our offensive line this past season and for the previous seasons as well. We haven't really addressed it as much, but especially at that center spot, I really like um, and enjoyed what I seen from JPJ at the guard position, and especially to go back to Arnie's question, where was it at? With Kubiak running outside zone, which offensive lineman on this current fits his scheme? JPJ, in my opinion, he has the lateral movement to be able to do that, and he has uh, the speed and the pulling ability to be able to handle that wide zone run philosophy that Klint Kubiak is going to bring here. Um, and Tyler Linderbaum is that same thing. So to have Tyler Linderbaum at center and JPJ at that guard position, I think would just solidify the interior of our offensive line uh, exponentially, essentially. So I really like that idea, and I think he is the golden ticket for what we have to do in free agency for sure. Um, what up? I'm not Buendoza. um, what is up, Nate? Good shit, holding the show down. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Nate, what jersey did you last purchase from Leo? Max, Bowers, and Genty. Ooh, I actually don't think I purchased. I don't think I purchased the jersey off of Leo. I don't think I have purchased the jersey off of Leo. The last jersey that I've received was I won a contest from Raider Will. Make sure to go ahead and follow Raider Will Silver and Black Radio podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. He was doing a contest, and I was basically the only one that entered, so I won by default. And so he blessed me with a jersey. He sent it to me, and that's out of my closet. But the last jersey that I purchased was what was the last one that I purchased? It's been a while, I'm not gonna lie. Um I'm gonna have to say that it was the Tyree Wilson jersey, but that doesn't sound right to me. But that very much might be the last jersey that I purchased. Every other jersey has either been gifted to me or I've purchased prior to the Tyree Wilson jersey. So yeah, I think that might be it. Um, let's see. We all from LA, all know Chargers have no right here. Uh, can understand Rams old school. Yeah, and I completely agree. The Chargers don't make any sense. They don't have any fan base here. Uh, they're starting to slowly grow, which is gross to see. Because for I went to the Chargers Raiders game this past season in LA, and there was a lot more Charger fans than there has been in recent years. I go to that game every year since they've been in LA, and it's been majority Raider fans because Raiders do hold a pretty big hold of the Los Angeles as a fan base, but there was a lot of Charger fans. I got to admit, I have to admit, this year specifically. Um, he asked, "How do you like Kubiak's presser?" I think he said everything right. I don't think he said anything too far left, too far right. I think he stayed completely in his lane. Um, and that's kind of what you want from your head guy is to be mellow, straight to the point, professional. I really like that. Of course, you know, I do want to see a little bit more emotion when it gets down to the football field. But in a presser, that's exactly what you want from your head guy is to be professional and straight to the point. Answered all the questions to his best of his capabilities at the time, and yeah, that's kind of it. Let's see. Arnie's hated rivals in order are Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers. Ooh, mine. Mine would have to be if we're going just in our division. I would have to say Broncos are definitely last. I don't ever think about the Broncos if I'm being completely honest. Uh, and then Chiefs and Chargers are tied for one. I would probably say Chargers more because I have my girlfriend's family is from San Diego, so I interact with a lot more Chargers fans just in general. So I hear from them a lot more. So I would say probably Chargers, Chiefs, then Broncos. But I know everybody's different. Plus, the Chargers are in LA now, and that's fucking annoying. Rigged. Rorschach said rigged. Yeah, it wasn't rigged. I was the only one that participated. So yeah. Kubiak is the truth. No promises, just action to get Raider Nation approval. And yeah, I completely agree. He went straight to the point. He is professional, and I think it's going to be a good relationship for the Raiders and Klint Kubiak. Bueno said, "Damn, you actually spent money on a Tyree jersey. Did you lose a bet?" So I got the Tyree jersey when he was drafted, which is what, 21, 2, 2, 23, whatever year he was drafted. I bought the jersey because I was in Vegas for the time. He was doing a signing at the Raider Image at Allegiant Stadium, and they told us we can buy stuff and that he would sign it, but apparently when he showed up, his agent said, "Hey, we can only sign what we brought," which was this little poster, like this little photograph basically, and that's it. We can't sign anything else. No balls, no jerseys, no nothing. And I I admittedly am stupid. I took off the tag so I couldn't really return it. So I'm just gonna have to rock a Tyree Wilson. And to be honest, number 9 is kind of sick. I think that's me just kind of gaslighting myself because I can't return it now. But let's see. Arnie said Leo clearance sale on all Geno Smith, Tyree Wilson, and Tucker AOC. Buy one get two free. Yeah, I mean, you could ask Leo about that because I'm sure he has plenty of those jerseys because they do not sell. What up, Marcus Banks? Appreciate you pulling up, my boy. Appreciate you, man. Still rigged, he said. Um, Anthony says, "Yeah, I'm on edge with him. Sure can drop 67 in college. Not here in big leagues to make Nation happy. Draft him. Learn under AOC. Nation's tired. Don't want to put the pressure on him." And I believe that, uh, I believe you're talking about Mendoza. I believe that's who you're talking about here. Is this Mendoza? Um, Leo Leo greatest regret jersey was Jamarcus Russell jersey. Sported it until he was cut. That's funny. Oh, you know what? My last jersey might have been a Christmas gift. Yeah, actually, my last jersey I got was a Christmas gift. It's a Jerry Rice, uh, Reebok jersey. Raiders Reebok Jerry Rice. That was badass. That one's badass. He said I subscribed to Will's channel. It's on no contest, hence rigged. That it was on his Instagram. That's why it was on his Instagram. I'm pretty sure he posted it on YouTube, but I could be wrong. Yeah, yeah, Mendoza. Um, I mean, we could go back and forth about this. I've watched multiple people that I watch on YouTube that breaks down collegiate film and NFL film that I trust their analysis of. Um, and they 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 don't have any, they show the good and the bad. Uh to me, just watching it with my personal eye test, I don't see the hype of him being the number 1 overall pick. To me, it's just because the Raiders are so quarterback needy for so long. And again, like I said, Mendoza is a media darling. He won the Heisman, but I think that's kind of why they made the connection to the Raiders. But again, like I said, last season with the whole Shadur Sanders situation, uh, it's, if they become Raiders, I'm gonna support them no matter what. Even if I wanted to draft them, didn't want to draft them, whatever. Um, I'm gonna support them if they become Raiders because I want the Raiders to succeed more than, you know, for me to be right. And I'll be the first one to say, I'm not right. I was wrong about Mendoza or Shador. I was wrong about whatever. Um, so yeah. Anyway, a lot is to be seen against Mendoza before I'm all in on the Mendoza train, like a lot of people are. But yeah. Appreciate you pulling up, big dog. Ja says news with Max is he has beef with Alex Guerrero's the trainer. He's the one who shut him down. Probably saw his knee. Not good. That's Tom Brady's guy. He would trade Max before firing his guy. And yeah, I seen that too. Um, I believe Alex Guerrero has been a part of the Raiders organization since Tom Brady has been a owner. Um, but also there comes a point where you have to protect your asset from himself. Maxx Crosby, when it comes down to it, is an asset of the Raiders. And if he is going to possibly injure himself more to than than what is needed from him on the football field, and to be fair, like at that point we're playing meaningless games. There's no need for him to go out there and potentially injure himself even more. Like his knee at that point already needed surgery. So there comes a point where you need to protect your player from himself. And Maxx Crosby, of course, kudos to him as a hell of a player, but sometimes you do need to be told, no, you do need to be told when to stop, because then who knows if he goes out there and he tears his ACL off of a already bad knee, then we're looking at him possibly not even making it to, the beginning of next season. And that's already a bigger hindrance than, him not playing the last two games, I mean, of the season, in meaningless games. So to me, I think this is getting blown out of proportion, especially if this is true that Max has like a little bit of a gripe with Alex Guerrero because he was the one that told him to sit out, then you know what? So be it. Uh, and I think this is where the Jay Glazer claim came out as well, is because Max came to Glazer or whoever Jay Glazer got his information from in a fit of rage, and was like just kind of venting his frustrations to whoever it may be, including Jay Glazer. And then obviously that's not how you feel when you think about it. You have to have time to calm down, uh, and let the situation, cognitively think about the whole situation. Uh, and then Jay Glazer just apparently went with it, and you know, this is getting blown out of proportion now. This is where we're at now. Um, but yeah. Wi-Fi Willie doesn't count as collegiate evaluator. Yeah, no, I completely agree. He does not. He definitely does not. Yeah, and I agree with you, Ja. He did the right thing with his decision to sit him, because, like I said, you have to you have to be able to protect your asset and do what's the best for your franchise moving forward. And Rorschach too. That's what's wrong with kids today. They got to understand the word no. Um, I completely agree with this too. We have to be able to, you know, look for whatever is best for the Raiders franchise. But since I got to the bottom of the chat, I want to go back up to Arnie's questions here. Kind of mix up the questions. He had um a question here. Insider Hondo said today, without Mendoza, Kubiak would not accept Raiders' job. Do you believe it was Spytek and Brady selling the job, or only first pick in the draft determining factor? And that's a really good question, because my personal opinion is that Spytek and Brady went after Klint Kubiak because they have the first overall pick. My thought is that because in the back of Brady and Spytek's mind, they already drafted Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick. Um, that they wanted to pair Mendoza with the best possible coach for his potential. And to me, the whole time I've been saying that's been Klint Kubiak. Uh, so to me, it was more of Brady and Spytek trying to orchestrate Klint Kubiak, whether that was selling him on the first overall pick, selling him on working with Brady and whoever else, whether that's selling him on the Raider way or whatever they told him in that interview. I think in the back of their mind they were orchestrating it in a way where Mendoza is going to be paired with Kubiak, and um you see what Sam Darnold did with the Seahawks this season. And if you look at Fernando Mendoza and what he did at Indiana this past year, I think you can see a lot of similarities of what Sam Darnold did with the Seahawks this season. So they had it in the back of their mind, like, we have Fernando Mendoza, like, let's go find the best coach that fits his play style, and that was Clint Kubiak. And so once all of uh, the bigger names that of the head coaching cycle went to other teams, I knew we were going to go all in on Clint Kubiak, and I'm really excited and happy to have Clint Kubiak here now. And so to me now it's just the evaluation of whether or not he wants Fernando Mendoza, which I think it's kind of already set in stone that Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Raider. Um, so yeah. Okay, let's see. Rorschach, my question is, if and when are you going to open up a hotline so that way we can interact with you? Um, that's a really good question, actually. I had no intentions on opening up a hotline like that. Um, but I know Jeff just got his number, or I don't know how he did it. I have to ask Jeff what exactly he did to have a number where people can call in and leave voicemails and things like that, because that seems really interesting. And me consuming a lot of Raiders media and football media, that's and radio, I should say, that's kind of a big point in interaction with fan bases, is a hotline like that. So I would definitely be open to doing that for sure, but I have to do a little bit more research, and yeah, it doesn't have to be today. I appreciate that. But it's definitely something I'd be interested in, especially if I want to continue doing kind of solo shows like this. Obviously, today is mainly me and Jeff's uh, Thursday nights. We do coast to coast, but potentially doing a single man show like this, I think would be pretty beneficial for me. So I want to I would like to try that. No voicemail. I want to interact live. Um, I mean, that's kind of what the chat is for. You saying you want to call in live? I mean, we have Jeff has like a pull up show. And he's been open to everybody, pulling up for that, and that would be uh that would be kind of where you would do that, I would guess. Arnie said Rorschach Mitchell Renz has a Raider depression hotline. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think a lot of people need that sometimes too. Mitch Renz is never going to be on this show or on our Wednesday show after everything we've said about him. So kudos to Mitch Renz, getting his money. Can't fault him for that, I guess. Um, yeah, Jeff, that would be dope. Um, just to kind of see how it works. I would like to see how you think it works out, of course, first, because I don't want to just dive into it. But yeah, Rorschach wants to talk to the legend himself, Nate. Appreciate you, Rorschach. You're always putting it on for me. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, please make sure to like and subscribe, guys. We are on the road to 500. I have been pretty offline on not really making videos. I only been showing up on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things. I do like the off season. I like the rumors. I like the potential, draft trades and off season trades, free agency. I do like this part of the season a lot. Um, so I'm planning on getting back into making videos on the regular and trying to do that. So I appreciate if everybody like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. Uh, Even if they're not Raider fans, that would be really appreciated. Um, let's see. Oh, appreciate you, Jeff. Always pulling up, even when you're waiting in the EAR with Don. Appreciate you, Jeff. That's also another thing. I do a lot of stuff. I'm pretty busy. Uh, I go to a lot of other sporting events. I'm a big fan of basically every other sports league in the nation. So I will always go to NHL games, MLS games, MLB games. I'll be at a bunch of those. So that's also another reason why. So don't fault me for that, guys. Like, if you're ever at any sporting event in Los Angeles, I'll probably be rather close to it. I love sports in general, so my bad, my bad. The reason why Nate has been in the basement is because I'm not one who ruins everything. I blame Buendoza too. I blame Buendoza. Okay, let's see. Arnie Garza, which players on our current roster doesn't fit our new scheme? Hmm, great question. I think I think Glaze doesn't really fit. Parham doesn't really fit. I think I'm trying to think of skills position. I think the tight ends are good with who we have right now. I think we need another back to complement Genty. If you look at Seattle, they ran basically a two man backfield up until Charbonnet got hurt. So I think that we have to be pretty aggressive in finding another back to complement Genty. Although I do think he could handle the workload, I would still like a complimentary back to Genty. As far as wide receivers, we do need a bona fide number one for sure. I think that uh what's his name? Thornton, and I think that uh dude, why can't I think of his name? Um Small wide receiver? I don't remember his name. But fuck, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, um I think Thornton can really fill the Shaheed uh role that once Seattle got Shaheed over in that trade, I think Thornton can fill that spot. I would actually like to see him do the complete Shaheed experience and return kicks because we know how fast he is, and once you give him the ball, he can be pretty dynamic. Trey Tucker, yeah, I'm sorry, I was completely drawing a blank. I appreciate you, Arnie. But yeah, I think Tucker and Thornton can definitely fill that Shaheed role with just their speed and explosiveness off of the line. We still need that JSN type because I do think that Jack Besh can be the Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup had a pretty decent season, and I think Jack Besh can fill that role pretty perfectly. But we still need that bona fide number one JSN, can do everything type guy. Uh, for sure still. I don't know if we get that guy this season. I think we're going to have to be patient in finding that number one wide receiver. I would like to see it at least addressed. Um, to me, it would be like a later round wide receiver. Uh, I know we just drafted a second round wide receiver in Jack Besh, but I would go in the second round again and get Jacoby Lane from USC. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased, but Jacoby Lane was are hands down the number one wide receiver at USC prior to injuries, and then Makai Lemon just absolutely exploded onto the scene this year, and he won the Bolitnikoff Award. And to me, nobody prior to the season was saying Makai Lemon was going to be that caliber of a wide receiver, and to hit, he showed it definitely all season. There's no doubt about that. He should have won the Bolitnikoff. Uh, but to me going into this year, it was Jacoby Lane, and I think we can completely unlock what the potential of Jacoby Lane. Um, and he's a younger guy too, coming out in the draft, and to me, I think he has a lot of talent, and I would love to bring him here to Vegas. um, Kubiak is an elite play caller. Hopefully, we get good years where Kubiak gets to year 2 playoff, and then year 3 playoff, win year 4 number 1 seed. Then we giving Spytek Kubiak an extension deal, and I think that's a completely valid thought process, because yeah, if you go look at breakdowns of Klint Kubiak and the offensive scheme, he is a brilliant play caller. Uh, I'm very excited to see what he can do to unlock Brock Bowers, Jet, and Ashton Genty this year. I think it's going to be absolutely great. Absolutely great. Nate will send you an autographed Nate jersey, Rorschach. Hey, I'd be willing to give me to the 500s. I'd be completely willing to get to raffle off an LV Raider 10 signed jersey, like that Simpsons character on I'm Not Bueno, Nelson. He's um. Can Thorin learn to catch the ball like DHB, Darius Hayward Bay? I don't know if Darius Hayward Bay ever learned how to catch the ball. So yeah, but that's also why I think that Thorin would be a good option, at least to be seen at the special teams. Because if we're not going to use him in that Shahid role, let's go ahead and see what he can do on the special teams. I don't know if he got even one touch on special teams this year. Remind me if he did, but I don't know if he did. Can we draft Lemon in the second? No. Lemon is definitely going to be a first round pick. He's going to be probably a top 15 pick in my opinion. I seen a lot of mocks have him going to the Rams. I think that would be completely unfair if he ends up going to Los Angeles or staying in Los Angeles. Um yeah, that would be crazy. Call live streaming can be on mods only to start. Maybe in a future stream for sure. Don't get ahead of yourself. I already have Jacoby Lane booked to the Raiders, man. I already have it. My status is not given. Don't be jelly. With Olavi JSN being stars under Kubiak, who is our breakout player this year? I said it last night, and I think it's definitely going to be the inclusion of actually seeing 12 and 13 personnel, which Klint Kubiak likes to run a lot, to mask the run and pass differential. Because if you look into Klint Kubiak and his play calling percentages, it's 50% pass, 50% run. So he likes to run a lot of plays out of the 12 man and the 13 man personnel to disguise the fact that you don't know what it's going to be out of that formation. Most of the time it's going to be a run, but he likes to do a lot of play action out of those formations off of a lot of heavy run plays in the beginning of the series, play action, and that's where you find JSN wide open. So I completely think that, to me, it's the inclusion of the tight ends, and I said it last night. It's going to be Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is the guy that I'm going to keep my eye on this year. If he's completely healthy, and I think he'll live up to the hype that he got coming into the NFL that we just haven't seen yet. Whether it's due to injury or off the field issues, I definitely think it's going to be Michael Mayer this year. What is up, Chewy Jess? Appreciate you, big dog. Make sure to go ahead and follow my boy Jess right here, Chewy's Raider coverage. He just hit the 500 subscriber mark. That's big. That is huge, bro. Big ups to you, man. Very, very dope. Very dope, bro. Josh said, I want the wide receiver Chris Bell from Louisville Cardinals at 36. Dude is like AJ Brown. Bro. Dude can ball, for sure. Dude can ball. 805, what is up, my boy? Appreciate you, 805. Make sure to, if you haven't already, I don't know what you're doing if you haven't subscribed to 805 already. He is a great analyzer of film. They do it during the season every Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it is. Subscribe, make sure the bell notifications are on for 805. You cannot miss what he's putting out. With him, Severe, and Chris, they're great. They are absolutely great. Make sure to go ahead and follow them, man. Jeff is up there too. If I don't get that hat, Chewy, I'm unsubscribing. That is hilarious. Who do you resign after final year contract? Tucker, Wilson, and Mayer. Uh, that's tough. Uh, I did say last year that I think that Thornton can do what Tucker does, but Tucker definitely showed a lot of promise this year. And he was our number one wide receiver for a majority of the year. And although we don't want to have him as our number one wide receiver, he did well in that role. Or I mean, as well as possible with this Raiders offense and this Raiders team for this past year. He did pretty decent. He out of those guys, I would probably have to still say Mayer because I do think that he's going to have a much improved year this year with Klint Kubiak at the helm. So I would have to, if I had to choose one out of those three guys, it would definitely have to be Mayer. Good man, third shift sucks. It eats into my live stream time. I'm on my way in right now. Oh man, where's the flag? I appreciate you still pulling up for the for a little bit, bro. Please don't Rorschach. 805 favorite player in college. Ooh, that's a great question for 805. Who is his favorite player in college? Frank Weber. Wow, Nate attracts a good crowd. Hey, I appreciate everybody pulling up. I don't really do a lot of solo live streams, but I appreciate everyone pulling up, man. This has been such a good experience so far. So I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking to do a lot more solo live streams in the future. So let me know how I'm doing, y'all. Where's the flag? Yeah, have a great day at work, big dog. Chewy going to win his only giveaway. That's our yeah. If Jess ends up winning his own giveaway, I'm gonna start counting those tickets, man. I'm gonna start counting those tickets. What is up, Raider Unleashed? What is up, big dog? Appreciate you popping in, man. I've been subscribed since day one, Chewy. If I don't, it's rigged. Hey, man, I've been subscribed since day one too. Me and Jeff have been helping Jeff out. I mean, Jess out. So kick us a little subs here and there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Who's Nate's favorite college player in this draft? You know I'm on the trade back train. That's a good question. My favorite player in this draft. So I think there's a difference here. My favorite player and the best player in my mind are going to be two different people. So if we're asking my favorite player, I'm going to be biased and I'm going to say Makai Lemon. I think, first of all, if we had the opportunity to draft Makai Lemon, oh my goodness, he would be basically JSN 2.0 in this Klint Kubiak system. If we have the opportunity to move up and draft that guy, I think we have to 1,000 times out of 1,000. I think he would fit so perfectly in this scheme. Of course, that's just me and wishful thinking and being a little bit of home base bias, but man, I would absolutely love Makai Lemon here. And then the best person in this draft, I think it's a toss up between Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain. I think Caleb Downs is the number one talented player in this, but it's just the quality of his position doesn't get drafted that high. So to me, it's hard to draft a safety at even if we do trade back a couple of spots at the top 5, you can draft him at 5 and feel comfortable. But anything, top 3, it's kind of hard to pull the trigger on a safety, no matter how talented the guy is. So yeah, it's a toss up between Bane and Downs for me for sure. Um, let's see. Um, Nate, who's your favorite college player this year? Yep, exactly. Makai Lemon for sure. Appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Making you laugh, Nate, is hilarious, and laughter is the best medicine. Hey, I am huge into the comedy scene too. I love comedians. I'm all in on that. I know you guys can't really see it, but I have a Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino signed poster right there. I have 2 signed Burt Kreischer posters right there. So I completely agree. Laughter is the best medicine. I love to laugh, so appreciate that. Let's see, Raider Ryan, appreciate you pulling up, man. Good to see you, big dog. Good to see you. Nate is impressive with Raider knowledge. Hey, I try to do my best. I try to do my best. I love ball. All, the entire NFL, all of college. I love ball. So I just try to, put that onto y'all. I just try to share my knowledge and whatever I got for you guys. Nate is young but very knowledgeable. Hey, I appreciate that. I try my best, like I said. QB, DN, and LT are the most important positions, and exactly that is exactly what I'm saying. Um, that's why those positions get drafted at those top 3 spots. And that's why for me, it has to be probably the best player in this draft has to be Ruben Bain because of the position that he plays is so valuable to an organization that you don't draft a safety over that position. Although, like I said, I think Caleb Downs is probably the most talented of this class. What is up, Jason? Haven't seen you in a minute, big dog. I appreciate you pulling up. Definitely got to connect more often. I appreciate all of your stuff, Jason. Another guy, if you guys have not checked out any of his stuff, you have to go ahead and check out Raider Nation Jason. A lot of good stuff over there. Arnie Garza, who's your favorite player of all time? My favorite player of all time, just in Raiders franchise history, is definitely Marcus Allen. Um, Again, home bias. He's a Southern California guy. Went to USC, won the Heisman, played for the Los Angeles Raiders. He's my favorite Raider of all time. That is one of the guys I have to meet before I die. It's got to be Marcus Allen. Although I didn't get to watch him play with my own eyes, he's definitely my favorite Raider. If I had to choose one that I've seen play or you know, was playing while I've been alive, mm, it's tough. Um, and I probably have to think about it a little bit longer. That's not on live stream, but Maxx Crosby is definitely up there. Um, I mean, Derek Carr is definitely up there just for what he's done for the organization as a whole. I know he's a pretty polarizing player in person, just in general in Raider Nation, but you know him, Darren Waller. Watching him play was insane. But if I had to choose one just off the top of my head, it would probably be Maxx Crosby. And man, yeah, that's probably why I don't want to trade him too. So, yeah, for sure. Um, let's see. Should we giving away a Jawaris Russell and a Booger Minshew jersey? To be honest, you can keep it. I have my AOC jersey still back here too. I planned on getting it signed. If I can get it signed this year, I'm gonna gift it to Jeff. That's Jeff's guy. Um, and I know everybody heard the story of when I asked when I when I asked AOC in person to shout out Jeff and his YouTube channel. But I just ran out of storage on my phone. I recorded it. I ran out of storage in my phone. I have it in my memory. If you guys can access my memories, I would definitely put it on here. And he said it, Jeff. I have witnesses. I don't know where those witnesses are because they were just random people, but There were witnesses. If you could find them, hey, you know what? Kudos to you because I don't know who they are, but I definitely did it. I definitely did it. Um, the more I watch Kubiak's offense, I wouldn't be surprised if Kubiak's taking a hard look at Carnell Tate if we move back with the Jets, get his JSN in. Yep, I completely agree with this. Um, Carnell Tate had probably been the number one wide receiver coming into this draft for this entire collegiate football season. He is a major talent as well, major talent. Um, I just don't know if we have the assets to get Mendoza and Tate, or Mendoza and insert favorite wide receiver prospect here. Um, to me, like I said, I think we're gonna have to be patient on that wide receiver one position. I mean, I would love to see it filled, sooner rather than later. It's just, like I said, I think we're gonna have to be patient on that one. Um, but yeah, Carnell Tate, Makai Lemon. Um, there's one more guy that, Casey Concepcion. I think those are all really good guys. Um, who's your favorite athlete of all time, any sport? Ooh, that's a tough one. Uh, Definitely Marcus Allen is for sure up there. I think my favorite athlete of all time, uh, I think it has to be Mike Trout. Uh, for an organization like the Angels that it has been pretty barren prior to Mike Trout and the 2002 World Series, he reinvigorated an organization that had nothing. Mike Trout, three-time MVP consensus, first ballot All Hall of Famer, uh, on the track to get to, possibly being the best baseball player to ever touch a field prior to Shohei Ohtani. Um, Man, I think watching him play in his prime, that was something different. That when people are different, that that was different. He's different. So I'd probably have to go with Mike Trout. Of course, Jason, man. You do a lot of good stuff. Gotta support my Raider brethren, man. I have a Marcus Allen signed helmet, one of my faves. Yes, bro. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. No, Mike Trout is a close second. Raider Nation Jason just remembered who my favorite athlete of all time is. And that's Kobe Bean Bryant. He is synonymous with Los Angeles, synonymous with my upbringing and going into, uh, you know, finding a love for basketball. I mean, it was pretty easy in Los Angeles during that time because they were so dominant and good. But man, Kobe Bryant is if you live in Los Angeles or in the area, you know how great he was and how just influential to so many people in this city. So 1,000% Kobe Bryant. Mike Trout for sure is a close second. My my bad, Kobe. R.I.P. Bro. R.I.P. Um, Getting to see Marcus Allen play was a blessing, and I'm sure, man, I would love to have seen Marcus Allen play. I'm sure that would have been freaking different. That would have been different. Who is your most hated Raider that I despised? Ooh, that's a really good question. The most hated Raider that I absolutely despised. Hmm, that's hard. I'm always gonna be a Raiders homer. Like I'm always gonna have the benefit of the doubt because I'm just an optimistic like person in general. So that's pretty tough. Um, it would probably have to be. Damn, I don't know. I have to get back to that because that one's a tough one. I have to continue to think about that one. AOC MVP incoming. Nate 16 like 15 watching. Bro, I appreciate everybody in here. Keep grinding, my brother. Good show. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Um, I'm thinking next year's draft we can go wide receiver number one, and I completely agree. Um, that's why I'm saying I think we have to be patient for that number one wide receiver spot. Uh, there's to be, if I got to be completely honest, like wide receivers come dime a dozen. There is a lot of very talented wide receivers. Just it seems like every single year. So I wouldn't be too concerned with finding that number one wide receiver spot, because I feel like it's a pretty fluid position to where the scheme is a big factor, as well as personnel is a big factor in the production of a wide receiver. Of course, you're gonna have those outliers like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Like those are of course bona fide number one wide receivers in any system, any organization. But I think you could find a way to plug players, especially at the wide receiver position, to be good players. So I wouldn't be too concerned with that position at this point of the Raiders rebuild process. Um, I have a Dennis Allen signed jockstrap. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Um, my favorite all time is a legendary. His name is LV Raider 10. Appreciate you, Rorschach. I think we gotta get you that LV Raider 10 signed jersey, bro. Mendoza, poor Trout. He should have been a Dodger. He would have known what it feels like to be a winner. We can go on and on about the Dodgers, about how all of a sudden everyone's a fan, but in all reality, they were playoff chokers up until 2020. Playoff chokers, consistent first and second round exits. Arguably the most um overblown team in the MLB until Shohei Ohtani got there. You needed the best, you needed the highest payroll on top of the best player in the world to win your first World Series. Well, I guess 2020 you didn't have them, but to be a consistent World Series contenders, hey, we can go on and on and on. After Kobe retired, I started watching basketball. I got into basketball because of Kobe, and I watched a lot more probably like 5 6 years ago. The game just does not feel the same now, and it's probably dropped to my least favorite league, my least watched league at least as of right now. And I think it has a lot to do with my growing fascination with hockey and soccer. Those were two sports that were not on my radar at all prior to, you know, 2016, 2017. So I think that has a lot to do with, basketball falling off for me. How did you become an Angels fan? How do you feel when Otani left the Dodgers and won two World Series? I became an Angels fan because my aunt is a huge Angels fan, as well as when I started to play baseball was in 2012. In 2012, the Angels had the best record in MLB. They were the number one seed in the AL. They won the AL West for, I think that was their, for the first time in like 5 years or whatever. Um, and then they were first round exits to the Kansas City Royals, who I believe that was the year that they went to the World Series against the New York Mets in 2012. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they were first round exits that year. But that's the first year that I first started watching baseball, and so I just kind of stuck with it, and the Angels have been my team since. Reggie Bush in college was crazy good. Yeah, he was absolutely insane. Uh, Reggie Bush was at USC when I first started playing football when I was 7 years old. That's how my favorite number became number five, because of Reggie Bush. And yeah, Reggie Bush was different. AB, probably, probably my I think the potential of a that AB had with Derek Carr and John Gruden was just so great. Like it was such a good match, and Derek Carr was gonna go off. We were all so excited for AB to be in the building, and then it fell apart. It absolutely fell apart. The talent of AB, man, that would have been different to support as a Raider fan. Like you seen it in Pittsburgh, like that was just crazy, bro. Like he was so good. Mendoza says Gino, AB, and Jamarcus as his least favorite Raider players. Uh, Gino is definitely up there now. Man, everything that he did going back and forth with Raider fans, that is not a good look as an NFL player. Like you have to set a line to where you can't be so accessible to the fan base to get in your head as often as it did this year. Like Gino, come on, you're a professional. You can't let that happen. His back juke highlight was legendary. Yeah, bro, he was crazy. That the against Fresno State, yeah, that was nasty. Oh, did he with no bit? That's crazy. That's crazy. Uh, your thoughts on linebacker Jacob Rodriguez, bro? I've been saying I don't care if we reach for Jacob Rodriguez. Uh, I don't know if as high as a second round pick, but definitely third plus. I love the play style of Jacob Rodriguez. He is a bona fide linebacker leader, green dot guy, in my opinion. Like that's a guy that if you want to build a a sustainable and smart defense, like I don't want to give him as high of praise as like a Luke Kuechly, but like that pseudo kind of Luke Kuechly guy, I really, really, really like Jacob Rodriguez, and I think it's a guy that we have to go after, considering where our linebacking room is at currently, and all of the free agents and aging players in that room at this point. I think we need a guy like Jacob Rodriguez. That would be a huge fit for us. Um, Santa built salty there, my boy. Yeah, I'm very salty. I have a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead up here and Funko Pops that I think I got the Funko Pop the year before he left, and I got my girlfriend a Shohei Ohtani jersey with his he didn't sign it, but like it was embroidered his signature, like one of those things, the year before he left. And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Like that couldn't have been the worst timing ever. Like legitimately the worst timing." Um, bro, come on. Do you see this right here? That's a Denny Bawanga signed jersey, my boy. This is a Denny Bawanga signed poster. Come on. I'll show the photo of me meeting Denny Bawanga. Bro. My favorite player from LAFC during their history has been Carlos Vela. I have a Carlos Vela jersey in my closet. But yeah, Carlos Vela and Denny Bawanga and now Sun Hyung Min. LAFC has had some freaking ballers in their organization history, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Um, never salty, just grown. Yeah, against Fresno State, that whole game was a uh, complete highlight reel for Reggie Bush. Honestly, yeah, yeah, LAFC man, come on. Like I said, Denny Bawanga signed jersey right there. Um, but let's see, how long have we been? An hour and 20. Very, very solid. Oh, that this one is an easy one, Arnie. This it has to be the Dodgers. Being in Los Angeles with the success of the Dodgers, all of my friends and family being Dodger fans, my a lot of them being bandwagon Dodger fans on top of that, it's infuriating, especially the fact that especially the fact that I am so faithful to the Angels. Um and they just hop on the bandwagon for the Dodgers, it's like it's infuriating. Like it's so infuriating. Um, but also, I- it's fun because my girlfriend is from San Diego, and so she's a Padres fan. So I'll like support the Padres too, and so I'll always going to Padres and Dodgers games, especially down in San Diego, when the Padres win is the fucking best. It's the best because they get so butthurt. Like it's the best. I love it. Um, yeah, the Dodgers. Yeah, I hate the Dodgers the most for sure. Anybody but the Dodgers, I say every year. Every year, anybody but the Dodgers. And his prized possession is his Tyree autograph picture right here. Yep, this one. Tyree autograph signed poster right there. That's my prized possession. What do you want first? Angels World Series or Raiders Super Bowl? I don't care. I really don't care. Um, Either one, to be honest. I think the Raiders. Ooh, if I had to choose who was closer to a championship, the Raiders or the Angels, neither. Neither. They've both in have been in sports purgatory forever. My entire fandom. I honestly sometimes think I'm the problem. Uh, Maybe one year I just won't support one of the teams, and I'll they'll probably win. Um, but yeah, I mean it's really hard. Um, I would probably so if I had to choose, I'd probably have to choose the Raiders because I'm just a bigger football fan in general. Um, and the Raiders are like my if I had to choose one sport, one team to support forever, I couldn't choose anything else. It would definitely be the Raiders. So if I had to choose, it would probably be the Raiders for sure. Um, let's see. In the last 8 years, who was our best first round draft pick in your opinion? It's got to be Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, 1,000% has the potential to be one of the best tight ends in NFL history. Um, if if he is on that projection to be that kind of tight end, we have to, you know, give him the complementary pieces so he can be successful. But it has to be Brock Bowers. I think he has the potential to be a Hall of Fame type player. Um, and he's already shown flashes of that in his short NFL career already. So I think that it's definitely Brock Bowers. Or I mean, you could probably say Maxx Crosby, but just in an NFL sense, it's got to be Brock Bowers. Let's see. It's easier to win the Super Bowl than the World Series. Hmm, that's interesting. I think the hardest championship to win, in my opinion, is the Stanley Cup. Um, is the Super Bowl easier to win than the World Series? Hmm. I think in the sense of that you only have to play a finite amount of games to get to the Super Bowl. I would say I guess because you can the World Series, the games leading up to making the World Series, you can play a different amount of games to get to that that spot in the playoffs. So I guess I would say maybe, but I don't know. They're both extremely difficult, obviously. Rorschach, don't listen to the propaganda, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'll spew. I will spew Dodger propaganda. Don't even test me, man. I will. I definitely will. Um, Damn it! Now I gotta change my name. Angel lose to the cityless A's team that plays in a Triple A stadium. Yeah, I didn't say that the Angels were good. I just said that I support them. I once they get good, they will. They'll be really. I'll throw it in everybody's face. You know, I've been in. You can say it here first. You know, I've been an Angels fan since they were bad. Last 8 years could be Carr too. Yeah. Um, as far as a franchise, as the Raiders as a franchise, you can say Carr because he is the franchise leader in a majority of the quarterback statistics. So you could say Carr, but like just as in a total in NFL kind of big picture, I think it's Brock Bowers. Can Bowers stay healthy a full season again? I think so. I think that it was a little bit of a fluke injury again week 1. I was there week 1 in New England to watch that game, and watching him kind of warm up after the knee injury happened on the sideline, it seemed like he was ready to go. Obviously, he was kind of like it was a little bit, sore or tender. That obviously kept him out for a couple of games, but it just seemed like a little fluky kind of injury that I don't think you can expect from Brock Bowers for his NFL career. I think it was just kind of those one-time things that I hope doesn't, build up, but I don't think will. Yeah, Super Bowl, you only get one chance per game to really do it, so that's right. Mac or Brock or Bowers or Max, who's better? Ooh. See now, Khalil Mack did something that has never been done in NFL history, being an all pro at two different positions. That is, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Bowers I think has the potential to be uh like I said, an NFL first ballot kind of Hall of Famer type player. He hasn't obviously hasn't done it yet, but he has a potential, so that's yet to be seen. And then Max, I think, is a really good franchise type player. Like if you look at franchise players, like um you know you think of the Raiders, a lot of people will probably think like Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, great athlete, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. Um, but I think Maxx Crosby could be synonymous with an all time franchise great if he makes the NFL Hall of Fame. That cherry on top, of course. If he get, I don't know if he will get there. I'm hoping because I love Max as a player, but I don't know if he will get there. But I think Mac and Bowers are just a little bit higher potential than Max at this point. Your bedtime at 5 p.m. Nate's been an Angels fan since he see Angels in the Outfield movie. I mean, that's not wrong. I miss the Tecmo football, baseball, and Star Wars gameplay. Yeah, definitely this offseason you can expect some Tecmo baseball and definitely some Star Wars gameplay. For sure. There's gonna be a lull in the offseason. There always is, and I'm for sure gonna get back into some gaming streams. So keep tuned or stay tuned. I should say, stay tuned. Agreed. Nate's got to play more Battlefront. Yeah, man, Battlefront was so much fun. Uh, that was it was a great game. I liked playing that with you guys on stream for sure. I'm for sure gonna play some more Battlefront. I'm gonna try to play some Battlefront 2 on stream. Um, yeah, for sure. Um, no brother, us grown ups stay up late. You youngsters have to wake up early because of school. They need to make another Battlefront game. Disney destroyed Star Wars. Yeah, we that's another thing. I have a huge love for Star Wars, and I can go on and on and on for that for sure. Um, they are coming out with a pod racing game though that I'm really interested in, and I hope that you guys would probably tune into. It's a Star Wars racing game, and that looks freaking sick. So I think that's gonna be so sick. Um, the Los Angeles Legends. I know. I have to get back into the Los Angeles Legends. I promise. I promise we will finish this season. I know the Legends are. I think they're probably 2-2 right now, if I do remember. Maybe 2-3, 2-4. Uh, but the Los Angeles Legends definitely have to come back. I will bring that. I will bring that team back for sure. Brock has the appreciate you, Michoacan Raider, for sure for pulling up as well. Brock has the potential to be the Mike Trout of the Raiders. Just hope the injuries don't come so soon. And I completely agree. I mean, like I said, Mike Trout and Brock Powers. Mike Trout, first ballot Hall of Famer. Um, I think Brock Powers has that potential. I agree. I just hope that injuries don't pile up. Like I said, I think this season was a fluke injury season for Brock Powers that kept him out. So let's just hope that it doesn't start to pile up like it did for Trout. Who is the best Raider tight end ever? Great question. I think talent wise, I think it has to be Darren Waller as far as just talent. I don't think he played long enough to be solidified as the best tight end in Raiders franchise history. Um, I think there could be an argument for Zach Miller. Um, Dave Casper has an iconic, highlight, and I'm sure he's probably is put up there. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I would probably say Dave Casper, off of just recognition and historically as Raiders as a franchise. But if you Todd Christensen too is, yeah, that's another one that I was gonna say. Totally forgot. Todd Christensen for sure. Um, but I would probably say either of those two, just off of recognition and historically, for sure, those will probably be up there as far as when you pull up like who was the best Raider tight end ever. Those two guys will definitely be at the top of the list. I don't like the Lakers or Dodgers, but they are only Los Angeles icon teams. Yeah, I think the Dodgers as of right now overtook the Lakers as being the number one team in LA, just because of the recent success. But I think of historically, the Lakers are always going to be the number one team in Los Angeles. And I mean, hey, I got that one right. I got the Lakers right. I'm a Lakers fan, so yeah, like Jeff said, make sure if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that like, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody pulling up, new, old, whoever, you know, fat, ugly. I'm both of those, so appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Best tight end for me was Todd Christensen. Only one Raider tight end in the Hall of Fame. Todd Christensen, number 2. Yeah, completely right. Only one Raider tight end in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I think that will probably do it for tonight. Again, I appreciate everybody pulling up on the stream. We've been going for a little bit over an hour and a half. I wasn't really expecting to go on today, but I was just like, you know what? Jeff's not going to be on. I'll put on for Jeff. I'll make sure everybody is has their regularly scheduled Raiders content for Thursday night. So I appreciate everybody pulling up. You can expect me and Jeff to be on again next Thursday as your regularly scheduled Raiders Coast to Coast. I will be on Raiders Connection on Wednesday, so make sure if you don't tune into that, make sure to tune into every Wednesday. We got me, Jeff, Jay, and Leo on Raiders Connection. Those are always great shows. I know a lot of you go. I know a lot of you already tune into that, but make sure that you tune into that. And yeah, again, appreciate everybody that pulled up. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to send it to some of your friends. But that's it for me. Appreciate everybody, and peace out.
From the tailgate smoke to the late night post, best cash in the game. Raiders coast to coast. Click that play, let it roll. Silver, black in my soul, got 401. Righty to Jeff, breaking plays, taking notes, that chef. Film on loop, he's stacking stats, calling out schemes, exposing gaps. When the line holds, when it don't, he said what they scared to quote. Raiders coast to coast, that's the show I trust the most. From a bay down to that post, we riding. Raiders coast to coast. bring that flame. Live from the desert, loving this game. Stories from the stands, from the strip. Heart in the huddle every trip. They debate it, never fake it. Caught a draft pick, celebrate it when the shield shine bright on screen. You can hear the whole fan base scream. Let's go! Let's go. Raiders coast to coast. That's the show I trust the most. From the bay down to that post, we riding, we riding. Raiders coast to coast. If you bleed that silver ghost, and subscribe and raise a toast, we riding, we riding. We're the old Coliseum to the lights where we see them YouTube bomb. That's the spot for the real talk, real plot forward. Rid of Jeff, LV with rid of 10. Run it back, run it back, run it back. Play that episode again.